Hey everybody, happy Friday to you on this August 29th, 2025. I got all your stories for your rush hour ride to work, and boy are they plentiful. We've got several Bachelor updates, a new baby on the way, and a new TV show in the works. Plus, we're going to hear about Perez Hilton and his massive win in court, this following the Blake Lively case where he was being subpoenaed. Well, not anymore. We'll share what he had to say from Vegas, and also Megyn Kelly rips apart Blake Lively after we find out Megyn Kelly was subpoenaed. Lots to get into. Also, Emma Stone announces she believes in aliens, and we believe in Emma Stone. So we'll get out there. The truth is stranger than fiction, that's for sure. These stories and more starts right now on The Rush. So you heard it here first or second. JoJo Fletcher and Jordan Rogers says they're having a baby. So there it is. The two lovebirds shared the exciting news with an Instagram post on Thursday, saying their bundle of joy is expected to arrive in January of 2026. Very happy for them, and we're going to get to some other Bachelor news in a minute, and stick around for the Megyn Kelly stuff. I mean, I hate to say a broken clock is right twice a day. I'm on and off on Megyn Kelly, depending on which culture war topic she's discussing. But speaking of culture war topics, it's been the week of Cracker Barrel. Of course, Cracker Barrel has a new chief in charge. I don't know. She was, I guess, the head person. I don't know if she's the CEO of Taco Bell or what, but she came over from Taco Bell and tried to shuffle things up at Cracker Barrel. And the audience, they are grumpy. They are not happy about it, and they got the logo switched back. Here's, I guess, the original founder of Cracker Barrel, and the reason I'm sharing this clip is he actually agrees with me that they need to work on the food.
Cracker Barrel doesn't have any competition. What's Taco Bell know about Cracker Barrel if they don't get back to the chicken?
Now, he asked a rhetorical question. He says, what does Taco Bell know about Cracker Barrel? Well, from all I've experienced, both will make you shit your pants, but that's neither here nor there.
In the country, then it ain't gonna work. And it took forever to find 10 guys to put up $10,000.
So back then, Cracker Barrel wasn't a sure bet.
Oh, it wasn't a bet at all. On September the 19th, 1969, I went out, that was Monday morning, I went out and unlocked the door. And the people just came in.
Now, when you saw this logo rolled out the other day.
Oh, that's crazy. That's nothing, it's a bland nothing. It's pitiful. They're trying to modernize to be more like the competition. Cracker Barrel doesn't have any competition. I heard she was a Taco Bell, but what's Taco Bell know about Cracker Barrel? And country food. And the food is something that you need to work on.
So there it is. All that to criticize the logo, and he's like, well, you got to work on the food, and I agree. I'm not here to smear the food. I just can't seem to eat the sausage. I mean, come on, who doesn't like sausage or bacon? It's just not good. The Waffle House has better bacon than I'm sure Taco Bell can make better bacon than the Cracker Barrel. Either way, the point is, no omelets are served there. We learned that this week. And here's the other thing about Cracker Barrel. It's no longer affordable. Cracker Barrel's expensive now. It's not as cheap as it. Okay, I'm done with Cracker Barrel. Maybe I'll go there for breakfast. Courtney Robertson, I'm not done with her. One of our favorites, real friend of the community. Listens every day. Hi, Corky. Good to see you, Courtney Robertson. Either way, she teases on Reality Steve's podcast. You're going to have to go have a listen. But she teases that she's coming back to TV. Have a listen.
I'm getting camera ready. I'm actually getting ready to take off. I have a lot of mixed feelings about it because I'm going to potentially be gone for up to 4 weeks, but I know I'm getting nervous and excited, but I haven't
we have a Courtney Robertson return to television.
Yepers.
Are you allowed to tell us what this is?
I cannot. But it's fitting for me in the phase of life that I'm in. And it kind of just came up pretty recently, and obviously I had to talk to my husband about it, and the thought of leaving my kids for that long is really hard. And you and I have talked about that before, because I was up for doing House of Villains, and even that has kind of like a negative connotation to it, just like, oh, really, like they want me to play up being a villain. And anyway, so I'm excited. I'm like trying to get camera ready.
I can't say what I think the project is, so look in my eyes as they blink, but I really hope Courtney thrives. I've heard rumors of a project that is getting off the ground, and we're just so happy for Courtney. We really are. I mean this from the bottom of my heart. There are a few people that I think are more deserving of success than she is. I've always said this about Courtney. She kind of just came up in Bachelor before social media was big. She was in the days when you'd be on the cover of the gossip rags or whatever, but she kind of missed that boat where you were getting kind of insane amounts of followers. She's super funny and super kind, and we're, of course, good friends with Courtney. So very happy for her, and maybe all that ass kissing, and we'll get an interview. But of course, can't wait to hear when she launches whatever project she's on. Here's Emma Stone. Did you know I worked with her? Not to name drop, just dropped her name on the floor. I worked when I had my short stint on Birdman. She, of course, was fantastic in that, and she's an easy A in my book. You see what I did there? Either way, I now love her even more, finding out that she believes in outer space.
Oh no, I was just going to say, I don't know about looking down on us, but one of the, speaking of physicists, one of my favorite people that has ever lived is Carl Sagan, and I watched his show Cosmos, and fell madly in love with his philosophy and his science and how brilliant he seems to be. And I think he very deeply believed that the idea that we are alone in this vast expanse of the universe, truly, not that we're being watched, but that we're alone out here, is a pretty narcissistic thing to think. So yes, I'm coming out with it. I believe in aliens. Thank you.
So there it is. Believes in aliens. And boy, this sounds like the conversation you have after you have an edible for the first time. She spoke at the Venice Film Festival press conference. Well, now that Emma Stone has decided to come out that she believes in aliens, she says we're not alone. I have to be honest with you guys. I've been living a double life, and I wanted to share with you guys that, and a lot of you might not believe this, but I am a believer in Bigfoot. That's right. I actually have been checking out the Bigfoot mapping project right here, which has a map literally across the globe of all the Bigfoot sightings. And I'm just here to say it is improbable, but I do believe there is a great American ape that lives in our country. So much so that in my new state of Tennessee, we are lit up like the 4th of July in Tennessee. Look at all the sightings of Sasquatch, Bigfoot, whatever you want to call it there, the Quatch, BF. Either way, I believe in it. I was telling this to the Patreon yesterday. I thought the Patreon, they're big supporters. I thought there would be some people that were like, yeah, Dave, we believe in Bigfoot too. Nobody believes in it. Is it just me? I mean, have you ever driven through some of these national forests? You don't think there's a couple families of bipedal hominids that are just cruising around? They call this the Oregon Highway, and it ain't for nothing. This is where they spot all of them. So I would like to open up my audience to becoming Bigfoot friendly. If there's anyone out there who has cited Bigfoot, wouldn't it be great PR for the podcast if we could actually lock down a official Bigfoot interview, either with someone who's seen Bigfoot or, hey, Bigfoot himself? They do that whooping sound. Whoop, whoop. That's the Bigfoot sound. Anyway, let's do this. Let's prepare for our Blake Lively content. We have a lot to get into, to be quite honest. It's a Freaky Friday. Coming up next, I'm going to share what Megyn Kelly had to say about Blake Lively. And let me just tell you right now, I don't think she's getting invited to Blake's birthday party this year. Well, here it is, folks. Megyn Kelly rips narcissistic bully Blake Lively for subpoenaing her in Justin Baldoni lawsuit, gave her absolutely nothing. Now, I was unaware of this. I was unaware that Megyn Kelly was subpoenaed. She didn't say anything. Clearly, she was taking it pretty seriously. Here's a several minute long clip of Megyn Kelly and what she has to say regarding Blake Lively.
That we were among those targeted by Blake Lively. Yes, she actually tried to get the confidential and proprietary materials my team and I used for any and all stories about her.
Hey, maybe she just wanted to know, who your Ozempic dealer was. Oh, we're kidding, folks. Come on.
Because Blake Lively was unable to fathom that yours truly had developed a genuine revulsion toward her on my own, she posited that I must have been ensnared in Baldoni's alleged ongoing smear campaign against her, that his attorney, who happens also to be my own from well before his representation of Baldoni, must be controlling.
Brian Friedman, the Bigfoot of lawyering.
She suggested that I was getting paid by Baldoni or by his lawyer, Brian Friedman, for my anti-Blake coverage, demanding to see all documents reflecting this alleged agreement or payment structure. This is how narcissistic this woman is. She actually thinks I needed to get paid by Baldoni's team to say negative things about her. Newsflash, Blake. I came to those conclusions totally organically. Don't give away your power, sweetheart. It was you. It was all you who made me unable to stand you. No man had anything to do with it. We fought her subpoena and won. She backed down and has now missed the deadline to pursue her harassment of me and my team any further. Sorry, sweetheart. You might want to try harder the next time. But in any event, we gave her absolutely nothing. Not one document, not one record, not one communication. In no world would I ever allow my teams or my communications with each other or with our sources for our news reporting to be turned over to a third party, and certainly not to this nitwit. It's called the First Amendment, freedom of the press. She has zero right to nose around in how I gather news or in how my team and I prepare for any show we do.
There it is, folks, the national anthem. Now, listen, I'm a big fan of the First Amendment, and she's right here. I mean, everything Megyn Kelly said here was absolutely right, which is how preposterous. Do y'all understand how much Megyn Kelly is worth? Didn't NBC have to pay her $50 million when they fired her? She's worth a ton of money. I mean, how insulting. I mean, I don't think they can afford to even buy off someone like me. And I'm not of that ilk, that level, you know? I got to resort to making Patreon live streams where I talk about Bigfoot. Who am I? But I didn't get subpoenaed. But this is, it's quite rich that they're poking at people like Megyn Kelly, who has a legal background and can absolutely eviscerate Blake. And she did eviscerate her. This is a clip from 4 months ago, of course, with young Dave here before my hair grew out. 4 months ago, this is a clip of Megyn Kelly on the red carpet for the Time Magazine event, literally steps away from Blake Lively, and she is just fully exposing Blake's agenda.
But I do care when people bastardize Me Too allegations against, people who don't deserve it. And I think, notwithstanding the fact that they can lawyer up with very powerful PR people and lawyers and so on, we have to be very clear-eyed on what looks real and what doesn't and call it out when it isn't. Otherwise, no one who's actually experienced these things is going to be believed.
So good on Megyn Kelly for standing by the First Amendment. I wish folks like Megyn Kelly would stand by the First Amendment in every way. Of course, we've had issues in the last year with journalists, being deported because their political opinions are different. The Mahmoud Khalils and the folks that have had to literally go to detention centers because they were on the wrong side of, things like that. So it's good when I see people stand by that First Amendment. I think that's a good thing. And Perez Hilton doing just that. Here's a clip of him with folks saying justice for Perez. Again, yesterday he had a pretty big court date in Nevada, and he won. He scored a big victory in court against Blake Lively. Essentially, she was trying to subpoena him. He said, "You don't have jurisdiction in my state, sweetie." And that was the end of that.
I just showed up at the federal courthouse in my florals, surprised to see
people on justice for Perez.
People that I don't know.
I subscribe.
We've never met
Never.
in the real world.
There they are, justice for Perez. Now, are they paid actors from Brian Friedman? I don't think so. So here's a clip from Perez Hilton. This is actually from Popcorn Planet. And there was a lot of news that was covering Perez. I mean, he was trying to, make a pretty good little publicity stunt out of it. I don't mean that as if, as if he shouldn't have exploited the situation. It's absolutely ridiculous. Whether you're Perez Hilton or Megyn Kelly, I think they both share Brian Friedman as an attorney. They're allowed to cover this case as viciously as they would like. So here's what Perez had to say about why he decided not to lawyer up for this specific trial.
Why are you here without an attorney?
I'm here without an attorney because I know if I would have used my lawyers to represent me, given the high-profile nature of this case, given the fact that multiple courts are at play, and also the fact that this has now been going on for 2 months, by now, it would have cost me a minimum of $50,000. I'm not being sued. This is an overly broad, unduly burdensome subpoena that is requesting privileged information and should be quashed in full.
There it is. Should be quashed in full, and apparently it was. I don't know the specific legal verbiage of what went down there, but big win for Perez. In fact, it's a big win for Megyn Kelly and pretty much everyone else that Blake Lively has subpoenaed, as I believe just about everyone. They've either dropped the subpoena. I mean, what were they expecting to happen here? You know, sure, if you're Blake Lively and you think that someone's coming after you and there's sinister forces, sure, you want to get down to the bottom of it. But the truth is, if you don't have any evidence, any real evidence that proves that any of these people are involved, you're only making enemies for life. And what would be good, and this is what's banana land when it comes to celebrity, is that everyone who's surrounding the celebrity, everyone around Blake Lively is making money off of Blake in one way or another, right? Her publicists, I'm sure her friends are somehow all kind of on the payroll. And nobody wants to tell her, hey, you're just not that likable. And look, it happens. I do stand-up comedy. We get instant feedback when something doesn't work out. If I go on stage and I'm not, on top of my game, the audience will let me know right away. Actually, what's interesting with stand-up is you actually hear the same thing from celebrities. People like Jerry Seinfeld, one of the greats. He's done stand-up for decades, right? If he doesn't bring the material, after 2 minutes of the audience fawning over it being Jerry Seinfeld, they're not going to give him any love, because when it comes down to it, who you are as a human in that moment is how you're judged. So Blake Lively, thinking that there's some dark campaign against her, she's not taking inventory, which is such a dangerous place to be in when you're not taking inventory of how you could have handled situations better, how you could have been a better co-star, better actor, better manager, or any situation that has found Blake being criticized from people. Blake and Ryan Reynolds, and this is where I can actually kind of understand how she can come off so unlikable. They think of everything as business. How can we maximize revenue? How can we possibly advertise this or run the new, cologne line with the new movie that's coming out? How can we synergize this and that? And I think with this specific movie, folks just didn't want a movie about domestic violence to kind of incorporate some of those lighter things like her hair care line and whatnot. So again, it really just comes down to her taking zero inventory of what led her to be so unlikable. And this has made it way, way worse. I mean, unless they find something randomly in their inbox from some source that Justin Baldoni is everything they've accused him to be, they have a fat nothing. I know you're probably exhausted with me talking about it, but that's just where it's at. There's better chance of spotting Bigfoot than there is in spotting Blake Lively coming to any victory here. I don't know what else to say. Nothing. And lastly this morning, what's a Rush Hour podcast if it doesn't involve Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift? Football season before wedding season, they attended a game after the engagement news. This is Taylor Swift's first public appearance. So Taylor Swift was at Arrowhead Stadium. No, there was no NFL football games. It was for Cincinnati, their alma mater. Alma mater? Jason and Travis, right? Wow, how lucky is Cincinnati to have them as their exports. And now Mrs. Travis Kelce and the future Taylor Swift here. Here she is just heading out of the locker room. There she is. Any Easter eggs being shared by Taylor Swift? I have to tell you, if I was dating or marrying a NFL football player and I got to go to all of those games, I would just gain. I mean, I would be eating nothing but stadium food. You know what I mean? Just the honey mustard chicken tenders. Oh, are you kidding me? Buckets of popcorn. A Diet Cola machine that just streams endlessly into my mouth? Well, here's what we're working on this afternoon. We're going to have more in the Blake Lively case as words coming out that Blake Lively is trying to subpoena the private investigator of Brian Friedman. I mean, you just can't make this up. So much to get into. It's going to be a wild day. Hey, if you want any help, now listen closely. If you want any help growing your social media, I'm not here to sell you some wacky course. That's not what I'm doing. But for the last 5 years, I've had my podcast be my main source of income. It's been so, lucrative. It's bought me my house and able to have my wife stay at home. And anyway, the whole point is I think I got some advice I can offer. I'm going to be doing it in YouTube memberships. So if you have any questions about how to start your YouTube, what niche should you use, what the 3 or 4 main pieces of information you need to have for the algorithm's sake to get featured on YouTube. I kind of figured it out, and I think I can help. So just go to YouTube. There's like some bar you can search on my channel, and it'll show memberships. It's like $5 a month, whatever it is. You can always join and then watch the videos and cancel or whatever. But I'm going to be starting that this week. So if you have any specific questions you want to ask me about how to grow your YouTube or TikTok or Instagram, whatever it is, if you want me to audit your channel and tell you what's wrong with it, what can be improved on, all of that, you can actually ask your questions now on my Instagram at dneils. I posted on Instagram stories. It'll only be up for the first half of the day today, but I post on Instagram stories ask your questions here, and then I'm going to start answering them on private membership-only live streams. All right, well, we'll either see you there or we'll see you back here this afternoon. Until then, I'm Dave, and this is The Rush.